the face of a woman who doesn't understand how much she's loved. And then the TV tells me I should be like her, achieve like her, to earn the affection I so desperately need. But the people who love me best don't expect me to save the world. No, they regard me as a goddess and they always give me love for free. And they say, you are what you are.
We could practice second basket today.
Harris and the New Thought Messengers. Hello, everyone. How are ya? Hello, everyone. There we are. Here you are. Hello. Are you all warm and toasty? I decided to wear my blanket today. Hello to those of you online and all of you here. Welcome. Welcome. I'm Shannon O'Hurley. I get to be the senior minister here. Such a great joy, pleasure, and honor of my life to serve this beloved community and all of you loves. So grateful to be here with you. We are an inclusive, progressive, and compassionate community that is dedicated to spirit-led social action in the world. We are busy around here doing our own work and also moving our feet out into the world and serving the world in all the ways that we can. So if you are here for the first time, just know that we have mindfully and we have thoughtfully created a place just for you, exactly as you are this day, right now, right here, exactly as you are. Let's all take a deep breath. This is the moment in our service where we acknowledge that we are on the indigenous land of the Kalapuya people, and we affirm indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. Let's for a moment share our vision and our mission, especially for those of you who are new or newish here joining in, so you know what we are all about. Our vision, recognizing our oneness. We envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Let's take another deep breath in. And I'm just going to invite you to turn around and wave to those at home watching so they feel like they are in the room and we bring them energetically here with us. How good it is to be together. I'm so grateful for this beautiful technology that we have. Speaking of beautiful, we have a birthday. We have a big birthday in our community. Our beloved Shelley Walker. She has given me permission. She is 50 this day. Yay, Shelley Walker. Oh, today is your birthday. No, 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 no. We're going to have a good time. We are. We're going to have a really good time. These amazing flowers are from Michael Walker. Thank you for being the best partner, friend, mother, and wife. I am so blessed to get to spend my life with you. I love you with all my heart. And these ones over here say, happy birthday to beautiful Shelley Walker from your Practitioner 2 class. We love and appreciate all the guidance and wisdom you have shared with us over the year. We affirm many blessings and so much more for you on this special day. And we as a staff have a special gift for you that's in a pretty bag. Hint, you can light it and put it on your altar. So you all know what it is, and that's from the staff. You're so beloved, and we are so grateful to have you in this community. So with that, I'm going to invite practitioner and ministerial student Shelley Walker up for our opening blessing.
My wish this day is that everyone feels as loved as I do in this moment. Thank you, Rev Shannon. Thank you to my beautiful students. Thank you to my wonderful husband, and thank you all. This community is a miracle, and what we have here is so blessed. So let's anchor all of that. Let's anchor this time together, allowing the breath to bring us fully present to the glory that is Spirit, that is this love, that Spirit that has been with us from the very beginning up until this point and will be with us always, for it is life itself. It is love itself. It is grace, and it is peace, and it is goodness. And it's right where we are, everywhere present, And so I speak a word of blessing on our time together. My God, how good it is to be in community this day. How good it is to remember the truth of the love that is with us and for us, because this love is us. And so I bless all that we are about this day, the beautiful message that Rev Shannon will be bringing, the incredible music with Brian Harris and Darcy and the band. My God, the good. I bless the children. I bless it all. For everything that we are about this day is the work of love, love made manifest. And in this place, we let it be. Blessed be. And so it is. So it is. Well, we're going to continue this time of spiritual practice by joining in a chant. This beautiful chant that reminds us of this love, this grace, this peace that is everywhere. It's all around and it's inside, but it is bigger than we can even imagine. So if this song is new for you, you're going to catch on really quickly. You have the lyrics available. Please stand as you're able and allow this message to move through you. This message of love that is right here, available to us all the time.
Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Let's do that again. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deeper than my view of grace, higher than this worldly place, longer than this road I've traveled, wider than the gaps you filled, deeper than my view of grace, higher than this worldly place, longer than this road I've traveled, wider than the gaps you filled. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deeper than my view of grace, higher than this worldly place, longer than this road I've traveled, wider than the gaps you fill, deeper than my view of grace, higher than this worldly place, longer than this road I've traveled, wider than the gaps you fill. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long. Your love is wide. Your love is deep. And so it is.
Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, as some of you will know, we had a fun contest for the month of February, Bring a Friend February, and we had lots of folks bring folks, and the way that it was set up is we shared that we would be giving, whoever brought the most friends in the month of February, either in person or online, would receive a certificate for either a class or a practitioner session, and we had a tie. Isn't that fun? We had a tie. So I'm going to invite our beloved Sherry up, and she is going to help just be the deciding factor. Sherry Lester is on our stewardship team and does all kinds of wonderful things here in the community. I wanted to share that it was a tie between our very own Matt Lambright and Alicia Love. Thank you to both of you. And so what we decided to do, because it was a tie and we were so grateful, we decided to give our runner-up a $25 gift certificate towards anything in the bookstore. So there you go. You both are going to win. So with that, drum roll please. Ish. Thank you, Dennis. All right. And okay. All right. So the first place winner. Alicia Love is our first place winner. Thank you so much. And Matt, you've got $25 to spend, brother. You go for it. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you.
And now please help me welcome Darcy Bradley.
Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. But now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed, but I am beautiful no matter what they say. Words can bring me down. Well, I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring me down. Oh no, yeah. So don't you bring me down today. Yeah, 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 yeah. To all your friends, you're delirious and so consumed in all your doom. Yeah, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The peace is gone. Let the puzzle undone. Ain't that the way it is? 'Cause you are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. Oh no, 'cause you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. No matter what you do, no matter what they say. Hey, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And everywhere we Yeah, don't you bring me down today. No, 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 no. Don't you bring me down, ooh, today.
Oh, Darcy Bradley. Darcy Bradley, Darcy Bradley. Can we hear it for Darcy Bradley? Thank you, dear one. And that song is dedicated to all women and girls in this world. Happy Women's History Month. So, for this month, we decided for Women's History Month that we would do something a little bit different. We've never done this before. And I'll tell you how it came about. I was watching a talk recently with Father Richard Rohr and Mirabai Starr, two New Thought thinkers, theologians that I just love. And I discovered that Mirabai had written a book in 2019 that kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I ordered it. And I have to tell you, the people that endorse this book, I don't even know where to begin. It's everyone that we study. I've written classes on some of these people. I mean, Ram Dass, just before he passed in December of 2019, endorsed this book. Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams and Sharon Salzberg and Rabbi Rami Shapiro and Anne Lamott and Christina Cleveland, and it goes on and on and on of the people that endorse this book. So I couldn't wait to get it and bring it to all of you. It's called Wild Mercy. We have it in our bookstore. And it's Living the Fierce and Tender Wisdom of the Women Mystics. And Shelley and I are sharing this series this month. The idea being that we will take the wisdom of these women mystics and what they brought not only to our world, but to theology, to our spirituality, to New Thought, to the sacred masculine, as well as the divine feminine and everything in between. And this is the book that is kind of companioning us on this journey. So I invite you into it. It's simply glorious. So, there are two, count them two, very distinct ways of experiencing God, traditionally speaking. Stick with me here. I teach it this way because for me, this is what finally, when I got this visual, and it was actually inspired by Hildegard von Bingen, who I'm going to talk about later, I really understood it. So picture this. There is this big, huge, gigantic circle, and it's up in the sky. And this big circle up in the sky represents God, usually with a very impressive beard. And way down here is a little circle that represents me or us. Stick with me. Stick with me. Okay? And because this big circle above, and God is above us, it's naturally hierarchical and male, and very much outside of us humans. This is one type of experiencing, one way of experiencing God. And the folks down here in the small circle experience God in that way of separation. I want to be very clear. There are three monotheistic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, that believe and revere the majesty of the divine or Godhead, if you will, separate from. That's the theology. And I want to be very clear. For many people, that's actually comforting, and that's a good thing. So there's nothing here but love. That's one way of experiencing God, that God is outside of ourselves. We're living our lives, and God is sort of up here. And for many people, that is comforting, and that is to be respected. This is, again, the monotheistic model. God's up there, we're down here. I speak from experience as a former Catholic, that is how I initially experienced God. And for me, personally, he didn't always pick up the phone when I called. That was my experience. I don't know about any of you, but I don't like being ghosted or ignored. The relationship really depended largely on his mood, essentially. And it didn't matter how much I tap danced and did my own little thing to try to get his attention. Sometimes I felt ignored. That was my personal experience of the monotheistic teaching of the divine. After much searching, I found this teaching. This teaching is different. In the second model, you have the same big circle that represents God. However, what is different about it is that the little circle that represents you and I is smack dab in the middle of this big circle of God. God is no longer hierarchical or outside of us. God is no longer separate in any way. God's spirit, love source, whatever word works for you, is smack dab in the middle of all of it and is all of it. And in this model, because all of us, in our various magnificent identities, this model is, to me, comforting because God becomes non-gendered. Women and girls and non-binary folk can see ourselves in this model because God is no longer a he, right? So in this experience, and this is a very Eastern view of the divine. So there's the monotheistic that tends to be more Western in its thought, but ancient Eastern tradition is much more this second model. So in this second model, not only does God or Spirit take my calls, but I have it on speed dial. No ghosting allowed. It's so great. It's so great. So one of the things to note is that in the second model, it is the model of the mystical versions of the three Abrahamic faiths I just mentioned. So in this second model, this big circle, we're all in it, the Kabbalah, which is the mystical aspect of Judaism, that's in the second model, the big circle. The experience of the mystical Christianity, or the original teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, the mystical teachings of Christianity, is in the second big model. The Sufism, which is largely believed to be the mystical version of Islam, is in the second version of the experience of the divine. And guess what? It is also in New Thought. The model, the second model, is New Thought, is our New Thought teaching. We subscribe very much to this idea. And so one of the things that is so beautiful about this second idea, this second circle, one might call it universal spirituality, if you will, is that it incorporates modern science. And science now proves, I spoke a little bit about this last week, the oneness and the connection of all of life, which is very important to our metaphysical teaching. The 12th century mystic Hildegard von Bingen wrote, "A wheel was shown to me, wonderful to behold, divinity in its omniscience and omnipotence, like a wheel, a circle, a wholeness. God hugs you. You are encircled by the arms of the mystery of God." That is the mystical idea of the relationship we have with the divine. And so I ask you, is there any place within yourself, maybe even in this moment you're realizing it's been unconscious, where you, and sometimes it's in different areas of life, where, especially if you grew up in a Judeo-Christian background, you default unconsciously to placing God or the God of your understanding outside of yourself. Or you place your good out of reach, outside of yourself, is another way of looking at that and thinking about that idea. Is there any place in your own life where you can maybe point to, oh yeah, in that area of my life, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's creative expression, maybe it's prosperity, abundance, maybe it's your own relationship with spirit? Is there any area, creative expression, where you have placed God or your good outside of yourself and it's separate? And there is in that, the way that that will feel in your body is a reaching for. Do you see my body's automatically doing? It's a reaching for out here. It's something to get out here rather than recognizing that everything is already within, and this work that we do here is simply to peel back the layers and unveil the truth that is already within us. But we're humans, and many of us spent childhoods and maybe even early adulthoods, seeking, reaching outside of ourselves. I have come to learn for myself that it takes courage and strength to declare the oneness with the divine. It's very easy to say, isn't it? It's very easy to say we're all one. Very simple. And what I want to plant, the seed I want to plant for all of you, is that in order to deepen your experience of oneness on the planet and in your experience of life, it requires courage. It requires strength to declare your oneness with the divine. It requires a deep sense of worthiness to decide to place ourselves in every area of our lives within the one big circle. Because when we do that, we are automatically in a place where we recognize that we are co-creating with the divine. We are always co-creating with the divine. And sometimes what we co-create are things that maybe we don't care for and we want to shift and change. And we really just, when we do this, it requires accountability. We can't blame anything outside. You see, it requires accountability. Hildegard von Bingen said, "Dare to declare who you are. The path is not long, but the way is deep. You must not only walk there, you must be prepared to leap." My talk today is called Dare to Declare Who You Are. Side note, as Darcy sang so beautifully, I want to declare in this moment that every single one of you is beautiful, that you are, my friends, worthy, that you are loved, and that you are, as Ernest Holmes used to say, God's stuff. So what is a mystic anyway? Why are we even talking about mysticism in women's history? What is the connection there? What is a mystic? So what does it mean to have a mystical experience is another way of thinking about it. It simply means that to be a mystic, to have a mystical experience is to have a direct experience of God, of the divine. That's it. That's it. That's all. There's nothing magical about it. It's the most real thing that is, our relationship with the divine. There's no intermediary. Rather, it's a very personal and immediate experience. And every single one of us has had mystical experiences of some kind. We just may not have called it that. We may not have named it that. I talked about this last week as well. You know, those numinous moments that we've all had where time slows down or stops, where we have a feeling of oneness, of deep love, of awe, when we hear a piece of music that transports us to somewhere else, when we see a piece of art, when we have those moments with other human beings that are so filled with love, we get tears in our eyes in that moment. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those are mystical experiences. That is when we experience the divine. They're deeply shared, deeply moving moments that we have, either with each other or with ourselves. Every mystic that has ever lived has talked about the availability of this for all of us, not just the chosen few, for all of us. Make no mistake. The mystical is found in the ordinary. Teresa of Avila said, God lives in the pots and pans. So, for over a decade, I have been inspired by the mystic Hildegard von Bingen. I carry her in my heart. And one of the reasons I initially fell madly in love with her was because she came into my life at a time when I needed to step into my own courage and strength, actually to do this work. I was in seminary and ministerial school, and it takes a lot of courage to do that work on the deepest level. And I read about Hildegard, and I was like, well, there is no shortage of inspiration from this woman. None whatsoever. I'm just going to give you a short list kind of as a starting point. So first of all, she was a polymath. So she was incredibly educated in various different areas of sciences and social sciences and arts and all of the different things. And she incorporated all of it into her own theology, which was really, really amazing. She wrote the very first opera 300 years before any other person. She wrote the very first morality play. She was an artist, exquisite artist and painter. She was a botanist. She wrote 5 books on medicine. 5 books. In fact, she herself, because she was so in love with the natural world and holistic medicine and the plant world, she came up with 2,000 remedies for ailments. This woman was born 1,000 years ago, just about 1,000 years ago. She was an activist. She was dedicated to social justice. She wrote the Pope 300 times. There are letters, documented letters, 300, demanding change in the corrupt church that she grew up in. And she was steadfast in her commitment to protecting children. The reason for this is because nearly 1,000 years ago, children were often donated as a tithe to the church. When she was 8 years old, she was the 10th child in her family, and she was given to the church. So the beautiful thing is that this strengthened her resolve. It strengthened her resolve to move into an understanding of the divine that was like no other within the confines of her tradition, being a Christian mystic at the time. So I want to talk about 3 main things that she brought to the world that she does not get credit for. And that is so germane to the work that we are doing and the deepening that we are doing in our growth and our understanding of God and the divine. The first is this powerful idea that she brought within a Christian context that was very, very pagan. Are there kids anywhere? She was a badass. Because guess what? She decided herself that she was, despite the walls that she was in, she was going to experience God her own way. She believed, she was one of the very first to talk about the marriage between science and spirituality. That's 1,000 years ago, Hildegard. She's considered the grandmother, by the way, of the Rhineland mystics because she came first. Within that tradition, within that Christian tradition, she was the first one who inspired all of the mystics, many of which we're going to talk about throughout the month, that came after her. One of the things that's so beautiful about her experience of the divine was that she was panentheistic within a Christian tradition. We are panentheistic, meaning that Spirit, God's source, is everywhere present, in, through, and as all things, and in the mystery. Hildegard was panentheistic in a monotheistic tradition. So she was living in a culture where God was in the circle in the sky, and she was saying, oh, hell no. That is not my experience of God. The way that she experienced the divine was in the natural world. She actually was the first to say that the divine was the ground of our being. That's Hildegard. The ground of our being. She talked about this idea of the greening power. Now, language was different 1,000 years ago. The greening power, meaning that the divine, if you thought of it as the natural world, that the divine, God's source, was lush and vibrant and all about growth and creation. Nothing about it was stagnant. Nothing about it was bare or dry, as she would call the services. She would call them very dry. And she would say, go out into nature and experience God that way. That is how you will experience the divine, is in nature every time you look at a tree or water. anything that was green. In fact, she painted Jesus of Nazareth a lot in her life. She also created mandalas. But it's fascinating when you look at her paintings of Jesus of Nazareth because he is green. She paints him as the green man, and his mouth is open, and out of his mouth are these vines and trees and leaves and growth. What she was saying and what she was teaching was that the message of Jesus of Nazareth was an organic one. It came from the earth. When she painted him, he was below the earth. He was the ground of all being for her. And so this whole idea of the natural world for Hildegard was in direct connection with her study of botany and of healing, the healing properties that she believed were divine. The way that she did this, which was so brilliant, because she was really brilliant, was she did this through the lens of the divine feminine. And the way she would talk about God is that it was created by love itself. She referred to God as love at a time when that was not popular. She wrote, "The Holy Spirit is the life of all creatures. God is life to the fullest, and God lives in every created thing." It's very Hildegard. God lives in every created thing. And so this panentheistic view, here is this woman living in this abbey for her whole life, from the time she's 8 to the time she's 42. And when she's 42, she gets a message in prayer to write everything down. Like many people, she had a renaissance, if you will, a second career, if you will, like many of us in our 40s and 50s. As many women do and have done historically. So at 42, she starts writing everything down, and her writing is absolutely prolific, and it's so brilliant, and it's so filled with heresy that she is regularly called to answer to all of these things that she's talking about that nobody was talking about, and it's considered very heretical. And she was so brilliant that she would argue with these abbots, and her arguments were so interesting that they didn't kill her. They decided to let her preach at a time when women were considered, in most cases, property. She was allowed to preach, and preach she did. She went everywhere, and she shared this word, this idea that was so different from the church of the day. She taught mystical Christianity. She taught that we are co-creators of the divine and that we participate in the natural world. So I invite you to take this energy of Hildegard with you this week and think about when you're outside, even if you go to your mailbox or you're driving, just stop for a moment and recognize that every time we see nature, we are seeing the divine. We are seeing God. This is a mystical connection. This is a mystical thing. Another thing that I'm so moved by with Hildegard was her commitment to social justice. She wrote, "There are two aspects to humanity: the singing of praise to God and the doing of good works." The doing of good works. If you've been around here for any length of time, you've heard the phrase treat or pray and move your feet from Ernest Holmes. This is exactly what she was talking about, hence her 300 written letters to the Vatican, to the Pope. At one point, the Pope of the day made this comment, essentially, yes, she's annoying, but listen to what she is saying. She was so committed to protecting children that she escaped at one point with all of these young girls, and she created her own abbey, and she was the abbess, and she taught all of them her creation spirituality theology, basically is what it was, which is completely connected to earth-based traditions and the mystical aspect of the divine feminine. She brought this activism out into the world at a time when people could be killed for speaking up. And she just was brave. She was brave when she saw injustice. She named it. She shined the light on it in every way that she possibly could. And not only that, but she set that example for generations after her. Generations after her did that very thing. And so I invite you this week, where can you speak up about something? Where? Even if it's to one other person. Who could you write a letter to? How much time do you have? So let's bring this energy of Hildegard into our week as well and do something about the things we complain about. Do something about the things we complain about. There's always a phone call to a representative. There's a letter. We have all kinds of things here in this community. We have an amazing social justice ministry that does all kinds of things. You can check it out on the website. We have an incredible climate team that are working for eco-justice. There's lots and lots to do. So I invite you to take this wisdom of hers, this oneing, as she called it, oneing, that to be spiritual was a verb, that love, that God is a verb, is how she taught. I invite you to notice where you may be placing yourself outside the circle, that circle of love. Where in your life might you be doing that? And if you notice, on the breath, I invite you to just gently place yourself right back in the center of the divine, right back. And as you do that, you will feel, sense, and know how supported you are in that circle of love. I invite you to be brave enough to claim your worth as a manifestation of the divine consciously. And I absolutely know that those of you who've been around here for a long time, because you tell me, you say things to me. I know I'm one with God. I know. We all know it. It lives up here. I invite you to embody it, to embrace it, right? As you embody and embrace, it's hard to stay in the energy of complaining. Do you see? As you embody and embrace it, it's much easier to move forward in your life in every area. So also, I invite you just to take note of the natural world, the greening of things, and let that bubble up in you as a way of reverence and respect for Mother Earth, for the ground of our being. One of my favorite spiritual practices, I walk around here a lot, and I love to have this experience of the greening of things, meaning that as you walk, it's a walking with the recognition that the ground that you're walking on is divine and the air you breathe is spirit itself. I invite you into that conscious practice. And then again, the activation of our teaching. The activation of our teaching means taking social action where you feel called to do that. Write those letters, join those groups, move your feet, and recognize the direct relationship, as Hildegard taught 1,000 years ago, that we have with Spirit. So with that, I invite you to take a deep breath. And let's anchor this in prayer. What a blessing it is to fully recognize and know that God is right where we are, Spirit is right where we are. The greening of things, the vibrant, lush, magnificent ground that we walk on and air that we breathe is God. It is from this place of grace that I give so much thanks for the wisdom of the ages. I give thanks for the women and female identifying people who have given so much to our world, to our spirituality, to science, to all the areas. What a blessing. And what a blessing for those who are currently participating in the greening of this world. the vibrancy and the love that is being expressed. I am so grateful for the opportunity to have this place to express our gratitude for these things, this place to remember, to love, to serve, to remember the truth that each one of us is in fact a mystic at the center of our being, that we are here to directly experience God or the divine through each other. I bless all of our families and our loved ones, and I allow this prayer to be a beacon of love and light and grace to any place in the world that is calling for it, any place that is impacted by violence, racism, poverty, illness, challenge, allowing this love to be felt right where they are. And so it is from this place of gratitude that I give so much thanks, and I bless all people everywhere, people who gather in churches and mosques and synagogues and temples and ashrams, in Mother Nature, in labyrinth walks and yoga mats and planning meetings and marches, recognizing each one of us is a beloved member of the beloved circle of life. What a blessing to be in this circle of life that is love itself. With deep thanks and gratitude, I allow it all to be, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Shannon, for that beautiful message, that beautiful reminder. I'm so excited to carry that idea of oneing with me this week as I move about my week. If you, like I, am so grateful for this community, for the message, for the music, for the weekly and daily reminder of the truth of who we are and our power to live that in the world. I invite you to join me in contributing. There are many ways that you can give. I like to text to give at 503-966-3236. There are many ways to give on our website. Just go to newthoughtscsl.org. I'd like to invite the ushers forward with the baskets. Those of you who have set up automatic giving may have some of these affirmation cards. This one says, your life is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift to God. Well, we're grateful for that gift, and whatever you choose to share this day, please know that it is received with gratitude and love. And I invite you to speak a blessing on it with me. You might want to hold it over your heart, infusing it with love and gratitude, and join me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Once again, Darcy Bradley.
Into a weapon or a drug. You can be the thing and every backlash, somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way that words do when they settle beneath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. What you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. I just wanna see you. Just wanna see you. Well, I wanna see you be brave. I just wanna see you. I just
force of good on this planet with that voice of yours, girl. I have a few announcements. These are mostly for our local folks here. The Caring Corner is requesting donations of food and non-food items. Here are the things that are like at the top of our list that people always go for when we open our Caring Corner to the public. Peanut butter, tuna, pasta sauce, oatmeal, toilet paper, paper towels, and toothbrushes, y'all. Toothpaste, shampoo, feminine products. There's a full list out here on our information table. You can bring stuff with you when you come on Sundays. If you happen to be in the neighborhood, though, there's some bins outside. You can always drop stuff off after hours in those blue bins, and we will pick them up. Coffee Creek is a minimum security women's correctional facility here in Wilsonville, and it has been an outreach of ours for many, many years, right, Brenda? Yeah. Our team is looking for more volunteers. If this calls to your heart and you'd like to bring the light of new thought to these incarcerated women, please go to our website, go to the tab that says Social Justice, and you can find more information about the work we do at Coffee Creek and how you can get involved in that. It's amazing work our volunteers do there. Our teens, this is exciting, are now collecting redeemable cans and bottles for the Oregon Bottle Drop program as a fundraiser. So it helps to send them to teen camp, which is a life-changing event for our teens. So collections are going to be the second Sunday of every month. So you can keep your stuff in your garage, and then when you come to church on the second Sunday, bring in your bottles and cans. Rinsed out, please, and in bags. And this will start, our pickup will start next Sunday, March 12th. Teens will be out here in front of the center or in the courtyard, both before and after service, to pick up your bags of rinsed redeemables. And finally, please join us downstairs for coffee and nosh. And y'all, the introduction made me cry. This is so well written. You're going to want to pick this up. And Mary Kinghorn has done a beautiful display of women mystics for us.
Yes, downstairs. Please do join us downstairs. Mary created a beautiful display of all kinds of things for us, those of us here who are here local. I want to thank all of you who are here and those of you who have joined us online. We have beloveds joining us from Germany, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Washington, and Oregon. So grateful that you are with all of us. I'd like to take a moment and invite all the practitioners to come forward, please, because we have prayer after service here, right here in the center. This turns into, right here in the sanctuary, into a beautiful time of prayer and meditation. If there's anything on your heart or you would like support for anything, please avail yourself of the gift of these beloveds who are trained in the art and skill of affirmative prayer. And for those of you online, there are online prayer practitioners available. The information's in the chat box there, and you can go to a private room, a breakout room, and get prayer that way. So lots of support for everyone here. I invite you to please stand as you are able. Miss Shelley, please join me if you would for our final blessing. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved. Mwah!
I really